Greetings and salutations, Impact players. We are your Impact partners, and in this video, we're going to talk to you about the importance of having a coach or mentor.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, and you know what? My Impact partner Ed was talking to me off cam, and he was mentioning and discussing a little bit about the importance of having a coach or a mentor, and I wanted to save it to share with you guys because we have different conversations at different times about all kinds of stuff, and we just want to share it with you guys. So we're just kind of let you eavesdrop on some of the things that we talk about. But you mentioned, Ed, the importance of having a mentor and a coach. What do you mean by that?
Well, all the research just says that a person performs much better, achieves goals much faster, and reaches whatever status they desire a lot quicker with a coach or mentor by their side. In fact, right now, Rob, I'm working on my doctorate degree in strategic management and leadership. And interestingly enough, the school requires us to find a mentor. This is the type of degree that only 3% of the world's population have, by the way. And it's a reason why. Trust me, it's a reason why.
Okay.
But they understand that failure is pretty high when you're at that level.
Okay.
They require you to have a mentor, for somebody who's been through a similar program, that have walked those, in those footsteps, so that they can then help you to navigate and push you during those trying times, because trying times will come.
Yeah.
Especially because again, at this level, most people already have full-time jobs or careers, families, a whole lot of other stuff going on, and so to try to do that juggling act and work on a thesis, a dissertation, blah, 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 blah. Again, you're talking about a real serious task that's not to be taken lightly in any way. And for most schools to require you to have a mentor, that alone should express to you the importance and significance of that. Outside of that, even if you look in the workplace, it's been shown that the fast track to success comes through mentorship and coaching.
Sure.
Almost every major corporation or big Fortune 500 have mentorship and coaching programs integrated into the structure or the culture.
Absolutely, the company culture.
Yeah, they put you up under a senior executive, somebody who's seasoned, that can give you the game, right? So that your trajectory, or your if you want, again, like I say, the fast track to success in terms of an executive position or raising your status, the learning curve will be a lot shorter if you have a coach or mentor in place.
Absolutely.
So, but again, those are just basic examples. But I want you to kind of talk about a little bit more about your perspective on this saving face concept.
Well, you know what, we were talking about, saving face, especially when it comes to mentorship and coaching and things like that. And just on a peer-to-peer level, as an accountability partner, you and I, serve as each other's accountability partner, because you tell me some of your goals, and every now and then I'm going to ask you about them. So what's going on with that? So you got to have some kind of answer as to what's going on. And same thing for me. You might ask me, hey Robert, you're trying to build this ranch, and it's okay, what's going on with that? Tell me about that. That kind of thing. So at least even at peer-to-peer level, there's accountability. So above, there's a mentorship, like you were just saying, and at peer-to-peer, there's accountability. Those type of things, because we don't want to get into the habit of letting ourselves off the hook, And one of the tools that I was coming up with, we like acronyms and acrostics and things like that, but it kind of helps us remember, the importance and the reason why you may want a mentor or a coach. And that little acronym is FACE. So having a coach or a mentor helps you save face. Now the first one is F, and that's focus. Okay. Having a coach or a mentor, number one, actually helps you stay focused. What do they do? They help you define what it is that you want. Okay, you can't remember. We can't just have a bunch of generalities. Oh, I just want. Okay, why? What exactly do you want? Why do you want it? When do you need to have it?
Exactly.
that sort of thing. So we go along that route, and then they keep you focused. That mentor helps you keep focused. So the first thing in FACE is keeping you focused. What are your thoughts on that?
There's no denying that somebody who has a certain expertise, a certain level of experience above and beyond yours, that can guide you and give you tools would definitely help to give you structure.
Absolutely.
And most people lack structure, which is why it's so hard to stay focused.
Yep.
Because you're scatterbrained, you're all over the place, and you have your hands in so many things. Nothing is getting prioritized, so nothing is really getting done. Mm-hmm. And so to have somebody to help you stay focused on the task at hand, right? What do you want and what do you need right now?
Yeah.
And how do I help you to stay to get there? And that comes with, again, not so much a tunnel vision, but definitely a concentration.
Absolutely.
And coaches, are the best at doing that.
Absolutely.
Right? Providing
absolutely.
that for their clients.
Mentee,
right? So,
absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, it leads us to the next letter in FACE, which is A, and what I mean by that is accountability.
Help me! Help me! Help me!
I mean, that's huge. I mean, we're talking about the two huge things. We're talking about focus, now we're talking about accountability, and that's what a coach or mentor does. They help you stay accountable. Like, for instance, if you are, and you actually mentor a couple of people, but when you're mentoring someone, part of the accountability, and I know that's part of your job being a mentor, but part of the accountability is that if someone's doing something that's like unproductive or wasting time or sabotaging their own success, you check them, you're like, whoa. What are you doing? Is that helping you get to where you want to go?
Exactly.
So you got to help keep them accountable. But I mean, please elaborate.
Well, I have a few friends actually that I started coaching outside of my regular clients, and I immediately told those friends there are going to be some days that you don't like me anymore.
All right. You're gonna learn today.
So. Let's stop being friends for now when it comes to this coaching, because accountability is important.
Yeah.
And when a person's holding you accountable, it's not going to always feel good. They're not going to always tell you what you want to say.
That's true.
It's not going to always be, easy days. Their job is to keep you focused, and to hold you accountable for what you say you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
So when I call you on Monday,
yeah.
after we gave each other a list of items that you said you were going to deliver on by Monday,
right.
I expect that phone call to be productive, and I only want to hear it's done. I'm not trying. I don't need any excuses. I want to hear it's done.
Yeah.
And so when it's not done,
you're gonna hold you accountable.
You're not going to like it. So understand that's what an accountability coach is for.
Yeah.
Right? And the interesting thing about it is the name personal impact, right? Mm-hmm. A part of that acronym is accountability.
Yeah.
Mastery through personal accountability coaching and training.
Yeah.
So we understand that accountability is necessary if you're going to grow. In fact, even in setting goals.
Yes.
And again, dropping another C4 nugget here.
Yeah.
In the book, we talk about creating SMART goals, the O acronym.
Yeah.
And we decided we were going to add an S to that.
Okay.
And that S there, and so we know that SMART means the goal needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be attainable, it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be time bound, right, or time based. The final S actually stands for share.
Okay.
Because we understand that once you share a goal with a person that you respect, whose opinion you value,
exactly,
then
important.
The research says that people who do that excel and exceed twice as often as those who don't when it comes to the goals that they set.
Yeah.
But the key thing about sharing is overwhelming, the majority of the time when you share the information, you're sharing information with somebody who's going to then hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And so it's the accountability, it's the speaking it and knowing that, okay, they might call me on this.
Yes.
That actually puts the wind behind the sail,
absolutely,
if you will.
Absolutely.
And so even with setting goals, there is an accountability component that has to always be executed. Otherwise, you actually sell yourself short, and the probability actually decreases for the likelihood of you accomplishing that goal.
Absolutely. Part of it is you don't. There's a sense in you that you don't want to let that person down either. Because remember, you said someone you respect.
And whose opinion you value.
The opinion you value. So a part of you right there automatically, you don't want to let them down. They were talking about with Coach Dungy. He wasn't he used to be the coach of the Colts.
Right.
And he's not the rah in your face coach or whatever. And so they would ask players like, what made you want to play so hard for them because, they eventually won a Super Bowl. And it's like, they ask coaches, what made you want to work so hard for Coach Dungy? Because he's not that in your face and grab you by your jersey and stuff like that. And most of them, they say he's kind of like a father figure, but the main thing is that we didn't want to let him down. You know what I'm saying? And his job is a coach, so he's always holding them accountable.
Right.
But they just like, when they mess up on a play, they mess something up or whatever, and they have to go back to the sideline and face him, they feel like they let him down. They're like, I'm
gonna let him down that.
Yeah, exactly. Let down that, and you don't want to do that. So absolutely, man. Let's go right into the C. Credibility. There you go. Let's talk a little bit about credibility. Why is that important?
If you don't have credibility, then what do you have?
You got nothing. You got nothing.
We summed it up.
Yeah.
We've summed it up.
you got nothing.
Credibility is extremely important to do anything in life. You can't walk into a bank and get a loan without credibility, right?
Yeah.
Your credit score has to be a certain,
meet certain
parameters. That gives you credibility.
True.
In the eyes of the lender, that says that you can be trusted.
That's what it is.
Right?
That's what it is.
So, in any area of life, credibility leads to trust.
Yes.
And that means that nothing can really be done successfully over the long term, especially without credibility being in place.
Absolutely, and I think it's internal and external. Like for instance, when you're using the credit score and stuff like that, that's an external credibility. That's on paper. The bank sees, okay, this person is credit worthy. But there's an internal component, and that leads to your integrity. If for instance you feel good about yourself when, okay, you set a goal, you set it out to your mentor. They hold you accountable. You coming through on that. You tell someone you're gonna do something. You coming through on that. Now you are hitting all the check boxes, and now you start feeling good about yourself internally. You're like, no, I'm a man or woman of my word. If I'm gonna do it,
That's right.
I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna die trying. I'm gonna get it done. So there's a personal integrity for that credibility capsule there,
That's
so definitely got to have that credibility. It's important. It's going to keep you going. And speaking of keep you going, the last one on face is E, enthusiasm. You spoke about that before we turned the camera on. What were you saying about enthusiasm?
More than anything, when a person has enthusiasm and a certain level of optimism about their future and whatever the goals they may have in place, that enthusiasm kind of creates momentum.
There you go. That's what you said.
And it'll put a little wind behind their sail. And so with that momentum, again, that momentum can carry you a long way. John C. Maxwell talks about the big mo.
Yeah.
In one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, and talks about how if you build enough momentum, I mean, some things in society have been. Some people have made major accomplishments and achievements just because they were able to build a certain frenzy, right? A certain level of momentum behind the cause of what they were doing.
Absolutely.
And that propelled them,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Without necessarily having the expertise or the background in a certain thing, they believed in the cause so much and was allowed to rally again the momentum, the energy that still ended up allowing them to be pushed into greatness.
Absolutely. So, I agree with what you said 100% because I've heard it said by someone, I can't give the proper credit to whoever it was because I don't remember. It may have been Anthony Robbins, but he was just saying take the massive amount of action in a short period of time, and that's what's gonna create some momentum. It's gonna create an explosion, and what we would say was gonna create an impact. What can you get done in like 30 days? To keep that momentum going. One of the things I had started, I actually did it last year. But one of the things I had started, I said, okay, if you want to get stay enthused, have momentum, how different would your life be? Is every month, starting in January, every month you gave yourself a monthly challenge. One challenge. January you have a challenge, February you have a different challenge, so on and so forth. Now, at the end of the year, you completed 12 challenges. Talk about the impact, talk about the momentum, talk about the enthusiasm you would have.
Just checking them out.
Every month, I did this, I did that. And now, every year, instead of the people, they have these New Year's resolutions, which they break February 1st. Before they have that. Now, every year, you completed 12 new challenges every year. Now, every year looks different and it's getting better and better and better. Because how often, think about it, how often is someone, they make the same resolutions? Like, I don't do resolutions, I do declarations, but they make the same resolutions every single year. It's because they didn't achieve them last year. You keep making up, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to the next milestone, unless you say, hey, you know what, last year I wanted to lose 50 pounds and you did it and you say, okay, I want to lose another 50. Okay, that's different. Oh, well, my income was 80,000 and now this year I wanted to be 120. Okay, that's different. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't have to make the same resolution every single year. You should be making new ones, onward and upward.
Right.
Getting that enthusiasm going forward. And like you said, that key word, that momentum. If every month you're achieving something that you set out to do, and you're actually at the end of that month able to kind of check it off and say, I did that. Oh man, you're enthused. You're enthused.
So the key things to remember here, impact players, is that a great coach will help you to save face.
Great coaching.
They will keep you focused. They will hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. They will help you to build credibility. And with that, they will also put behind you some enthusiasm and some wind behind yourselves. It is a reason why if a team in sports has a losing season, the first person they get rid of is the coach. If you don't think coaching is important, you can't understand at all the dynamics of the people who really, really, really are the most important piece of every puzzle in every organization throughout the world, especially the sports franchises.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put it better. This guy, he summed it up perfectly. So as he said before, the importance of having a coach or a mentor is in order for you to save face. So until next time, why don't you just go out there and make a personal impact?